60 Minutes host Lesley Stahl left Republican Representative Jim Jordan speechless when she pressed him over misinformation being spread online by conservative lawmakers and far-right figureheads, RadarOnline.com has learned. Jordan was stumped when Stahl asked whether or not the 2020 presidential election was stolen. The 60 Minutes segment centered on a debate of fact versus fiction on hot topic issues including vaccine efficacy, the 2020 election, and COVID. As big tech firms wrestle with how to keep false and harmful information off their social networks, the Supreme Court is wrestling with whether platforms like Facebook and Twitter, now called X, have the right to decide what users can say on their sites, Stahl explained at the beginning of the piece. The dispute centers on a pair of laws passed in the red states of Florida and Texas over the question of First Amendment rights on the Internet. The Supreme Court is considering whether the platforms are like newspapers, which have free speech rights to make their own editorial decisions, or if they're more like telephone companies that merely transmit everyone's speech. If the laws are upheld, the platforms could be forced to carry hate speech and false medical information, the 60 Minutes host continued. The very content most big tech companies have spent years trying to remove through teams of content moderators. But in the process, conservatives claim that the companies have engaged in a conspiracy to suppress their speech. Stahl then introduced her interview with the Ohio representative. Congressman Jordan argues that the tech companies shouldn't remove most of what they call misinformation. I think you let the American people respect the American people, their common sense, to figure out what's accurate. What is it? Jordan said. Well, what about this idea that the 2020 election was stolen? Stahl argued. Jordan interrupted, American people are smart. Look, I've not said that. What I've said is there were concerns about the 2020 election. I think Americans agree with that, Jordan added. Stahl replied, no they don't. Jordan quipped back, you don't think they'd think there were concerns with the 2020 election? Most people don't question the result. That's all I'm saying. They don't question whether Biden won or not, Stahl answered as Jordan sat speechless. What most people don't question, okay. But the outcome? The Republican lawmaker appeared stumped by Stahl's rebuttal and finally offered up a simple, right.